What's up, guys? It's Big Man YGO here from Mistiming TCG, and we have our boy Hratis with the 60 card Dragonmaid pile. My man, you have been wrecking shop at our locals. How, explain your genius when it comes to the 60 card deck profile we're about to do.
Honestly, I started out, I tried my best, try to maintain those maids down. I know people like their 40 cards, their 41 to push, but in this current meta, with all of the Banlist changes coming out, it's really hard to predict what's going to happen in these tournaments. So when it fall down to it, brass tacks, I decided I'm going to go full 60, put everything into that deck, and I'm going to be ready for any situation.
So a little thing here for Mistiming TCG, we do not like 40. We always go above. We feel like consistency is key, and when you have 3 of consistency cards, they're great. And now we have a Dragonmaid player wrecking shop on all these Drytron players. Ain't that something? Anyway, dog, let's get into this deck profile.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and pan down here. I'm going to go ahead and drop the most important card in the entire list right here.
Ah, yeah.
3 Chamber Dragonmaids. This card is very essential. Basically, dropping this card for a normal summon, you can get any spell or trap card out of your deck into your hand, and it is the most important possible play that you can realistically make. It gives you your recurability. You're getting your welcomes, your hospitalities. You're getting your fusion cards into hands. You can turbo out your boss monster.
Do you think it's worth the $60?
Absolutely. And that's not just because Dragon Links are abusing it. Pushing.
It's so good.
Yeah. So this right here, essential. You're not going to see a Dragonmaid deck without it. You don't see much Dragon decks without it in general. Obviously, to follow that up, we have our very important built-in archetype, Rhoda, Kitchen Dragonmaid, which I run 3 of. This card is very basic. Normal summon, hand fix. You throw a Dragonmaid into hand, you put another Dragonmaid from hand into the graveyard. This allows you to not only get resources into the graveyard for recurability, but it also gives you hand fix choices, so you can go into your special summons or get a necessary card. Moving on from there, we are going to be running 3 Parlor Dragonmaids. Again, another essential fix for your graveyard. Dragonmaids are very good at pulling their graveyard out, so throwing deck to graveyard might as well be going from deck to hand. 3 Parlors, what's up? Alright, next up, we've got 2 Nurse Dragonmaids. This is a card that is very good, but isn't essential to be in your hand every time. I feel that 2 is a good balance for it. It brings back 1 Dragonmaid, level 4 or lower, from your graveyard, specials as it into the field. This allows you to get into other combo plays. Follow that up with Laundry Dragonmaid at 2. I know this is odd. I know a lot of people don't even want to run Laundry Dragonmaid at all in the deck. But when you're running 60 cards, 2 Laundry Dragonmaids is essential for getting through the entire deck and just sifting through the pile. After that, we are going to move on to our big Dragonmaids. We've got 2 Dragonmaid Urnuses. This is a quick effect, discard from hand, special summon a level 4 or lower Dragonmaid from hand to the field. This is your generic special summon. This is very essential to have in an opening hand if you are not able to hit your spell cards. I will follow that up with Dragonmaid Lorepar at 2. Dragonmaid Lorepar at 2 is another situational call. I found that in the meta, for control format, Lorepar became very essential. It may not be a quick effect, but when the turn wraps back to you and they have a Zeus on the board, sometimes you just want to turn that thing off so you can actually play the game. Next up, we're running 1 Dragonmaid Tenkek, 1 Dragonmaid Midyarl. In this format, you're basically only looking at these cards at 1-ofs so that you can have something to dish off of Dragonmaid Hospitality. Tenkek does have a nice ability in hand to give 2,000 attack power to a Dragonmaid creature. This can run into situations where if you need to walk over a Vanity Ruler and you have no special summons, sometimes it's as simple as just normal summoning a Dragonmaid and smacking through with a 2k buff. Nudjarl. a very good card, and another situation that people seem to try and drop out of. Najarl recycles every type of monster from your graveyard back into your deck. This includes extra monsters, or extra deck monsters, so that you can continue to cycle out things such as Hratis Seal of Heavenly Spheres. Into the Dragonmaid spells, we have 3 Dragonmaid Hospitality. This is your special summon extender, and it does throw a similar attribute dragon into the grave in order for you to continue your combo plays. Next up, we have 3 Dragonmaid Welcomes. These Dragonmaid Welcomes are basically your main protection spell on your opponent's turn. If you can get a Parlor special summoned on your opponent's standby, you ditch this into the grave, protects your board from being targeted. Dragonmaid Welcome is also a very good recur spell, so even if you do end up pulling it into your hand, if you have 2 Dragonmaid names, put it on the field, get your spells back into your hand, keep your grind game going. Dragonmaid Changeover at 2. Yes, at 2. And the reason we're doing this is because, look, man, you don't want to be a Dragonmaid player who has a Changeover banished by a DD Crow, and you're just stuck there doing nothing for the rest of the game. So we get 2 of those into that pile, and obviously we're adding consistency. And then the next 3, the only Dragonmaid named traps in the entire archetype, Dragonmaid Tidying. This is a fantastic card. This card is not only a special summon from Banish from Graveyard, it is also a targeted bounce that resets a Dragonmaid into your hand. This is very vital. It gives you amazing playability. You can put a Nurse back into your hand and immediately normal summon for full combo on your follow-up turn. If you're dealing with problematic cards, such as Mystic Mine or Necro Valley per se, you can use Tidying to bounce that at the end of somebody's turn when they give it up, and you can basically just play through. Following this up, we are going to be looking at non-Dragonmaid cards. This is what makes the secondary bulk of this 60-card pile. Right here, I am running a standard Dragoonity engine package using Dragoonity Ducks and Dragoonity Phalanx. Dragoonity Ducks and Phalanx allow you to essentially get a synchro play inside of your made deck. You can start dropping things down. This, in my deck, is used specifically for trying to play through Nibiru. If I'm not able to successfully get a Dragonmaid shoe on the field, I can use a Dragoonity package to build myself up to a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon within 5 summons.
So do you feel like Phalanx at 2 is correct?
Phalanx at 2 is the proper way to play this, and the reason being is that you want to make sure you got that Dragoonity Phalanx in your deck in order to throw it into the graveyard. There isn't always going to be a situation where you're going to use Dragon Ravine, which I will show later, in order to get a Ducks to hand. So if you want to use it for more essential plays like in a sense of spiciness, Dragon Ravine, discarding Dragonmaid Tidying, you get a special summon while also getting your synchro play. Following this up, we are going to throw a couple more spice cards in.
Oh, snap.
Since we are running 2 lore pars and a Dragoonity package, I felt that running Tempest and Lightning Dragon Ruler of Drafts was a very strong play. Both of these cards have the ability to discard a wind creature from your hand and either special summon this Tempest from your deck to the field for potential fusion plays for Straw, or Lightning in order to just reverse that. Lightning in order to throw Tempest on the board for fusion plays, and Tempest to get any named Dragonmaid in hand in order to push your gameplay. And then a Kidmodo Dragon at 1, because if you open up a Dragon Ravine, this is a free special summon. You throw a card in the grave, throw Kidmodo from your deck to graveyard, activate in the graveyard, and special summon any dragon from your hand. It is very vital for getting those special summons when you don't hit your extenders. Following that up, we have our classic hand trap plays. I'm running 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Ghost Bells, and 2 Ghost Ogres. In this format, I didn't know what to expect, so I essentially just went ham on every single utility you could play. These are all vital in their own circumstances. You guys know them, you love them. Hand traps are necessary.
So let me ask you about the ratios. Like, a whole bunch of people argue and be like, why 2? Don't you want to see 3 of? What is your argument in terms of playing a 60-card deck?
In regards to running a 60 card deck, yes, you're probably right. And if your engine is capable of running it, you may want to go out of your way and run 3 ofs. My problem is on consistency. If I run 3 Ash, 3 Ghost Spell, and 3 Ogres, there's a high chance that I may pull several hand traps into my hand and cause my ability to play the game to diminish. I do not want to only end up on a Heriatic Seal of Heavenly Spheres, holding some hand traps and passing over to my turn. It's not a good idea. Next up, we've got the money card itself, Pot of Prosperity at 3. Obviously, we're running a 60 card pile. We need to be able to dig for our combo pieces.
Be honest with me here. Did this kind of fuel the fire for 60 cards?
Absolutely. This is fueling the fire for not only your rogue decks, but also for anyone who feels that they want to go above that 40 card limit. And doing so, nobody can really complain when you're just tossing a couple extra deck cards to guarantee full combo.
A card that says basically search 6 deep in your deck is kind of nutty.
It is the best card that has existed at this point. I get some people can get away with extravagance, but for us rogue deck players, we're going for prosperity every time. Next up, a little bit of Dragon Extension. We have Return of the Dragon Lords. This is a spell card that brings back a level 7 or 8 dragon creature from your graveyard. And ladies and gentlemen, Dragonmaid is both 7 and 8. So if you need to turbo straw, there it is. And granted, to add on top of it, banishing this card to make sure that you cannot have your cards destroyed on your opponent's turn is fantastic in conjunction with Welcome. Double Dragon Ravines. We already went into this on some detail. Dragon Ravine is a great way to not only find that Dragoonity engine, but also to ditch some cards and throw essential cards into the graveyard, such as your Dragonmaid names or your Kid Moto. Next up, we have a Terraforming. I do think that maybe in this particular situation, it would just be better to run a Dragon Ravine by itself other than the Terraforming, but that's just there for the essential play of getting consistency. 2 Cosmic Cyclones. Again, I'm sticking to the rule of 2 here. I don't want to see this every time, but it's very vital as we get past those floodgate plays. Next up, to push our gameplay through, we have an Instant Fusion in order to get Millennium Eyes Restrict on the field. We have a Call by the Grave to eat up any hand traps that try to stop you from playing or searching, and Monster Reborn to just fuel your graveyard back onto the field. Now we will pull in the trap cards, which will end this 60 card pile. I have decided to go with a trap trick play using 2 compulsory evacuation devices, which work as essentially, it is a very simplistic way of getting a tidying on the board without the requirement of tidying. And also, fellas, if you have a nurse on the field and they Dark Ruler your field, just activate it, put that nurse back in hand, and rebuild and restore. And we also have the big, angry, different dimension ground. This card shuts decks down. People who want to see things, they want Ben 10 3 times in a graveyard, no sir. You do not get to play.
So that wraps up the 60 card.
What
do you think you would change in the 60 card deck right now?
Right now, I am pretty happy with this deck. I have pulled 2-1 in a local bracket so far against even non-monster based combos, and I feel that it's necessary to maintain this consistency. If the format speeds up again, we can always fall back to old reliable Dragon Links. Now, to basically chuck through, we've talked about several of these cards. There's our Instant Fusion for Millennium Eyes Restrict to enforce our gameplay. 2 House Dragonmaids. Enough that you are able to get a consistent negate off of Dragonmaid Shu, your Monster Boss, Monster Reborn, and Omni Negate. In this particular case, you are using a lot of cards to put House back into your extra monster deck, so you do not need to worry about running out of these negates. Next up, to play into the addition of our Dragoonity engine, we are running Dragoonity Knight, Vajrayana. This card allows you to pull Phalanx back out of the grave after making it, and then going directly into a Synchro 8. Which you will use to 5th summon under Nibiru into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which will allow you to continue to play your Dragonmaids unimpeded by board wipe. Next up, you have Scarlight, Red Dragon Archfiend, my beloved card. This is a great follow-up play, especially if you're going second. You drop Dragoonity, you put this on the field, and you activate it. You wipe all of the creatures off of the field that have 3,000 or less attack. And then a special little card, Muddy Mud Dragon. This is for rare circumstances where you really need a poly, but you can't seem to find your changeover. You put this on the board, and you immediately take any Dragonmaid monster and fuse into your boss Strahl. Then we have a Nightmare package using simply IP Masquerena and Nightmare Unicorn. Just a good way to bounce more cards. To follow up on the bounce, we have our Hratis Seal of Heavenly Spheres. We also have a Striker Dragon in order for us to make sure that we can get at least 2 dragons on the field, so worst case, you get that Hratic. We also have a Cross Sheep, which does combo very well with Strahl and House Dragonmaid, because as long as it's underneath one of these arrows, you special summon, and the Cross Sheep acts as a double special summon. You can go and put 3 Dragonmaids on your opponent's turn and continue to play. To finalize it, we have Appaloosa. This typically comes up as a second turn follow-up, where you just need to get something on the field, put your Dragonmaids back into grave, and then continue the process of rebuilding your board. So this is everything in regards to the extra monster zone. Finally, we're just going to cut through our sideboard. It's real quick. 3 Lancias, obviously. 3 Kaijus, because we're dealing with things that cannot be destroyed by card effects. 3 Dark Rulers, to make sure we can get through combo boards. 2 Forbidden Chalices. This is just a great quick effect to shut down any card that is causing too much issue with your gameplay and combo. 1 Pankratops, so that when you're going second, you can get something onto the field and force that negate. 1 Red Reboot, good on both going second and going first, but I feel it's better in a sideboard situation. And then, to counteract Dragoon, we have Fallen of Albaz with a starting Venom Fusion Dragon in order to activate Hratic. This is a pure combo. Tibbs T.
So in the tournament, I took the dub, gotta say, but he got through my Dragoon twice in 1 turn. Because you know Red Eyes Wyvern brings him back. It did not go well for me, y'all. It did not. That thing just fused away all my resources, and I was just sitting there looking dumb. Had to scoop up game 2. This man, what can I say, is literally a genius when it comes to Dragonmaid. I won't literally be shocked if one of these events he just comes through with this 60 card pile, wrecking shop. It's just insane. So, Hratis, I want to thank you for bringing this spicy deck in. You have any comments, any shout outs, anything you want to say?
All I gotta say is Dragonmaid players stay strong. Our waifus will always be good. We're always gonna be in there. Just show your locals what you're made of. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much. And remember, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Big Man Yu-Gi-Oh right here. And please subscribe to Miss Timing TCG.